Hey everyone, this is Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the Amazon FBA and e-commerce podcast.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm.
All right, on today's show, we're going to be talking about something really cool: how to build your dream e-com team. Our guest today is a returning guest, and she has helped grow Snow from 0 to 9 figures in less than 4 years, and she acted as the chief operating officer. She's also grown multiple teams, developed award-winning products. She's led partnerships. She's got involved with high-level tier A influencers like the Kardashians. And we're talking about Brenda Ruby, so I can't wait to talk to her. But before I do, I just wanted to give a great big thank you to our sponsor, Global Wired Advisors, a leading digital investment bank focused on optimizing the business sales process. For more information, please visit Chris and his team over at globalwiredadvisors.com. Where are you, Boy Wonder?
Hello. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Now, just before we get into everything, right, you might be taking over this podcast.
That's
just
right.
Putting it out there.
Just for today, possibly, maybe. But we've been having some Wi-Fi issues with the Beard Guy here. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that it holds up for the hour. But we will see. Yeah. But anyways, jumping right into it, if you haven't yet, please smash those like buttons, share this episode to friends and family, anyone in the Amazon e-com sphere. We do have a really great prize today as well, so I think you guys will really enjoy that. And let me see, if you're interested in full episodes of the show, go on over to our YouTube channel, and you can find our whole catalog of episodes. We have over 180 episodes to date. So full episodes, daily highlights are all there. And if you're interested in some private group sessions with me and Norm, as well as free SOPs, some freebies like a Lunch with Norm mug and a whole bunch of other goodies, you can go over to our Lunch with Norm website and click on the membership button, and you'll be able to see everything there, everything that we have to offer if you're interested. And welcome the Beard Nation, Daniel from Brazil, Amazon Lambo Guru, I know that must be Simon, and Dr. Kaz. All right, welcome everyone, and we can get started. Oh, you're on mute.
No, I'm not.
There we go.
Okay, so any questions, just throw it over to the comment section and get ready. Sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and welcome. Where are you, Brenda?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm so happy to be back. This is my third time, and every time feels like a really good coffee conversation. So thank you for having me.
Now, did Kelsey ever send you your mug and M&Ms?
I don't have my mug, Kelsey. I'm going to need that.
You know, sometimes...
Oh, you're right on that.
Oh, there we go. There we go. So next time, you'll have your mug and some M&Ms.
Awesome.
Oh, so for those of us who don't know you, can you just give a little bit of background information?
Yes. So my name is Brenda Ruby Mendez, and I am from Phoenix, Arizona here, and I am a daughter of an immigrant. So came to the U.S. at 4 years old. And all I knew was go through the educational path. And I did that very well. I went to Arizona State University and graduated within 3 years in the accounting industry, because that is the most guaranteed industry you can get into. And I went to work for a quick second at Deloitte. Loved it. Great company. I had a company car before I was 21. And I was like, what is this? The American dream. And it wasn't quick before I left that and joined a marketing agency. And that's where me and my current partner of Snow started Snow, built the marketing agency, and then quickly exit that to start Snow as soon as it took off. I feel like all agencies start to work with e-commerce internally to do what they're telling their clients they can do. And so that's what we did. And Snow just took off, a snowball effect from the very, very beginning, and grew that to 100 million in 4 years. And through that, I developed teams, I developed products, I talked to suppliers. I would go to sleep at 4 a.m. just reiterating the packaging. I created the packaging with a lot of love. And after that, I left a year and a half ago due to burnout and just not having my life back. And after that, I gained all that experience, and now I do consulting for startups, and I help them avoid just not just the burnout, but also the mistakes, the millions of dollars of mistakes I did at Snow that I learned. So that's what I'm doing now.
Just kind of keeping on topic today, that burnout is part of it. That's why we need a good team, so they can take that off of your hands. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yes, and that is exactly it. And I miss working with the team right now and growing a team and having my weekly meetings with them. But that is exactly what you need behind you to grow a brand.
Right. And I don't even know where to get started here because there's so much. I love growing teams. I I see huge mistakes, and we can get into that a little bit later. But let's talk about, first of all, when do you even start? When do you consider growing your team?
When do you consider growing your team?
Yeah.
I'll let you know a little story of when I knew I needed to hire somebody else. I was doing customer service just like everybody else at the beginning. We wear a lot of hats, and I did customer service, and I knew I needed to hire somebody else when I would go to sleep at 3 a.m. doing send desk tickets, and they would not go down. And then I would go to sleep and wake up, and there was more. There was a lot more. So I knew my time wasn't decreasing the outcome, and I needed to duplicate myself. And so I took a little notepad, and during a week I wrote down everything that I couldn't do anymore, everything that I was doing that I was just couldn't get it lower or couldn't get a better outcome. And so I had a list of like 20 things, of course, but I said the biggest ones, because we focus on the customer experience. I said I need a great team on customer service to help me with this. And now that I know the ins and outs, and I know the questions, and I develop those questions and templates, now I can go on and hire a team for that. So I knew that when I just couldn't handle it myself.
So, if I understand what you said, you've created a task board. So you just jotted down every task. You're doing
Yes.
something during the day, you're jotting it down. The next step, would you take those tasks and would you put them to dollar values like 10, 100, 1,000, and just say, okay, these are the $10 jobs, I got to get them off my plate?
And that is very important. That's a great point, because some of the tasks, my time, now that I knew the company in and out, me doing customer service isn't really driving the company forward. Me, in another area of the business, is moving the vision forward. So I had to, what it's really important as an entrepreneur to understand when you're working in the business rather than on the business. So understanding, yes, the fundamentals of your company, so you can develop the best SOP, so you can develop the best systems and processes, and train somebody else how to do it, and eventually, obviously, hiring the right person, they're going to do it better than you. So understanding that, yes, we got that, but also knowing that your time and where you're best at in the company at that time, you need to get there fast so you can drive that company forward instead of holding it back.
You're an entrepreneur. You start off this really great brand. And by the way, if anybody's not seen the packaging for Snow, check it out. It is absolutely 100% the most incredible packaging out there. But anyways, how did you get people that are doing your customer service to have the passion that you have or your partner has about Snow?
So it took a while, because just at the beginning, entrepreneurs have a hard time delegating and
Hmm.
and letting go of what they used to do because they think they can do it the best. And to a point, yes, but again, if you hire the right team, they're going to teach you how to do it, and they'll surprise you. So the way I made sure that was it is, one, I built the responses of the frequently asked questions, and I would train them very well. And I looked for people that had the soft skills. And what I mean by the soft skills is they actually enjoyed their work. They wanted to be part of the mission of the company, which was delivering confidence. And so there was a lot of employees at the beginning, not only in customer service, but in the whole company, that came because they were customers of Snow, and they had tried the product, so they believe it in it, and they were the byproduct of getting confidence through the product. So I made it a point to build the templates. This is the way I do it. This is the way I talk to them if they have a really hard problem. If we get a really challenging customer service ticket, they would still come to me. But the biggest point in customer service that I developed was having a weekly and a monthly meeting of the whole team of customer service team, and we would go through some tickets, some of the challenging tickets, and how do we address them, so everybody gets to learn. And then the tickets that people just rave about us and loved us, and let's bring up the positive tickets, and let's look at the responses. And also, if you have a software like Gorgeous or Zendesk that handles customer service, you're able to look at the data. So we would bring up the data, and we said it took 2 responses to close out this ticket, and so that was amazing. Let's look at how Linda was able to respond to the customer in only 2 tickets to get that resolved. Oh, let's look at Sonia, who took 10 responses, and that customer is still not satisfied. Let's talk about it, and let's see how we can bring it down closer. So looking at the analytics is also important.
So I like what you were talking about with your frequently asked questions. So your customer service team had a go-to template for canned responses. No, I'm not talking about canned. I'm just talking about knowing how to handle the response. So that's
Yes.
really great, and that's really efficient. So that you're keeping your message on point. Uh, the other thing I'd like to know, you talked about social or SOPs, policies and procedures, very important. Where did you learn? How did you start to understand SOPs?
Well, I'm going to bring it back. I am an accounting major. I love spreadsheets, and I love being super organized, and I need the steps, and I need to be certain. So it was a very natural skill set of mine to make sure that I have everything that I need myself through all the documents. And I love Google Drive. Still to this point, a lot of my startups and myself uses it. And so I would have these really nice folders, and within those folders, I would have all the worksheets and spreadsheets for employees, for vendors, for everything, right? So the way you are going to teach your employees the way you communicate, and they communicate with you, the way you run things, it's your mirror image of what they're going to be like, and you set the tone from the very beginning. So for me, it's like, these are the folders, this is where all the steps are, this is the videos, this is a tutorial. And I made sure that if something new came up, or there was a new way, or I hired a really good manager now to manage customer service, and they thought of an amazing way, I made sure that we added that in so that we can all learn from that. And so it trickled down. It was almost like a great waterfall of how you start things and how you pivot during that time.
So before we get into some of my other questions, please, if you do have questions about building a team, make sure you throw them into the comment section there. And if Kelsey's on his job, we'll get to them later. And then we have a giveaway today. So Brenda, why don't you talk about what, and this is a really great giveaway. So talk about your giveaway.
Yes, so I'm going to be doing 1 hour consulting on just diving into any challenges or any new marketing strategies for their own business, and a branding audit. And the branding audit, I actually love to do these for fun, and I do these to all of my clients on my onboarding. I go through their social media, their website and their customer journey, just to see if there's any gaps or any ways to improve that, and any ideas on how to make it better. So I will be going through their branding and doing a little audit on that.
All right. So a consultation and the brand audit. That's fantastic. So if you're interested in that, and I definitely would be, look, you're talking to a seller that built something from zero to 9 figures in 4 years. I think I'd pay attention. Anyways, that's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. If you're interested in getting a second entry, that would be just tag 2 people either in this channel or outside, and we'll get to that. So once again, please ask questions. We'll be taking them starting at around 12:40 Eastern Standard Time. So now let's talk about the actual process itself, hiring those people. Now, I've talked to a lot of people, and I've done it myself, where I've gone to onlinejobs.ph. I put in an ad. I go to Craigslist. I put in an ad, and you get 700 applications. And then you have to sift through the application. What's your process in finding good people?
There's multiple different ways. One, referral are great because you already know they have been vetted and they are referred. Referred is great. Another one is, this one's kind of off and it might not work for a lot of people, but either your brand or your personal brand is so well known that they come to you with that respect already, with that admiration, with knowing the vision of the company. So that helped out as well, because while I was at Snow, I did a lot of speaking at the university. And so I got a lot of interns from the university, which we were like 5 minutes away. And so they came on that way. And then just like the one you said, putting up a listing. I also have found, if you want the even greater people, you can do a sponsored listing ad on. So I use Indeed. I'm sure there's a lot of companies out there, but I use a very targeted type of ad as well to get great people. You are going to have to go through a lot more because your ad is being seen a lot more. And then I also find if there's way too many, and if it's not as a high level type of role, like customer service instead of an executive role, then I have a VA or an intern go through those resumes, because it could be 200. And I tell them, just jot them down to give me the best 10 and I'll interview them. And then I do two or three types of interviews. So I interview them myself. I get to vet them. I get to see if they're a great fit. And then they go on to, this is a really important point, they go on to, if they're going to be a great fit, they're going to come on as like, yes, I like them. I have an interview with at least 2 other team members. And so it's a team member interview. So I need to make sure that that person fits the company culture. And that is very important at that not only you vet them, but also the team that they're going to be working with.
Very good. So, keeping on that thought of the company culture, how are you building the company culture through the years?
That's a really big challenge as you're growing, because there's different stages as you grow. You go through the startup where everybody has different roles, and then eventually everybody moves up, and then they get to manage more people underneath them, and the company changes itself. So it is really important to keep that company culture. And the way you do that, some of the ways you do that is you got to take care of your employees. You got to listen to them. You got to have those fireside chats where you get to know them. You get to know them outside of work. You have these team bonding activities outside of work. You have these dinners. You have these mini celebrations on someone's birthday. You have these bonuses structure, compensation structures, incentive structures. Apart from obviously taking care of the employees, listening to them, really investing in them, you also got to set the tone from the very beginning and throughout of the company culture. And the way you do that is through developing really strong core values. You should already have these at the beginning from your brand guideline, and understanding where you want to take the company and who you are as a company. And so a really great book is Delivering Happiness. I actually have it. and they talk about those core values, and they talk about setting really strong core values. So anybody that comes in, it's a little cheat sheet in your blueprint of this is who I need to hire that has these core values, and this is who I can fire if they don't follow these core values, whether it's transparency, communication, having a great time, and it's all about people. So that's how you keep the great company culture.
I think it's important too that just people in general know that you have their back. You know, the feeling of being secure. So a lot of Amazon sellers, we'll hear a lot of people talk about going out and building your VA team. Okay, so it's not an employee; it's a VA contractors. And I also hear a lot of people talk about, well, you can negotiate them down to $2 an hour. I am not that person. I would much rather build that team, making sure that that family or that person that's in the Philippines or in India or in the Ukraine, if they're saying $3 an hour, and I know it's a $5 an hour job, that's what I'm giving them. And one of the things that we want to make sure is that we also check to make sure that we set them up to succeed and not to fail. If they don't have the right computer, or if they don't have the right Wi-Fi, or if they're in the Philippines, this isn't right off the bat, but let's say it's a year into it and they're having problems with storms. Some of our VAs have generators, some don't, but we definitely make sure that they have the right equipment to succeed. If they've got the right stuff, we'll provide the equipment to make them succeed. And what I've seen is that if you set somebody up and they're secure and they know that now they can work with you, they don't have to take on that 10 cent more job that comes through Upwork or whatever. Now you're building loyalty as well. And from our standpoint, like as a company, that's how we really build up the security and that kind of family thing. I mean, if somebody has to take time off because they're sick or they're at the hospital or their family members, look, go, we'll make sure that we cover you off somehow. But I think from my end, that is so important. If you nickel and dime and try to get something for free, your loyal employee will take the next 10-cent job that gets posted on Upwork and say that they're sick.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyways, it's great hearing what you were saying about building your culture as well. So what about your... go ahead, Brenda.
That's a great point.
Thanks. So the video, I told you my internet, I told you my internet.
IFAs and everybody who works on your companies is an extension.
Sorry if I seem like I cut you off. I don't know if it's my internet or your internet. It's probably mine being glitchy. But anyways, I think I cut you off about 5 times there. Let's talk about mistakes. What are some mistakes that people make when they're hiring employees or contractors?
Mistakes that people do when hiring employees or contractors is desperately hiring the wrong one too fast. And what I mean by that, it's especially at the beginning where we're so desperate to fill in that role and we need the help, and we're all doing we're taking on multiple roles at a time. And what happens is we hire too fast, and we're going to and that doesn't get done. And so you're going to have to fire, and you're going to try to work with it, and it just doesn't work out because one, they weren't the right fit, or you just needed to fill on that role. So I do see the biggest mistake is hiring too fast. And I got this lesson from also Sarah Blakely. She says, hire slow, fire fast.
That's so true. That's so true. How much money do you waste if you have an employee that you know is not the right fit? I mean, that could kill you. So that's great. And Sarah Blakely is one sharp cookie. Okay, so what about any other tips that you can give to new sellers that are out there?
I would always say understand what you need help with, write it down, the roles, the level, the difficulty, the level of the roles, and always say you can always hire consultants, contractors, freelancers, where you're not hiring someone for six figures right off the bat, and it's such a scary investment, right? But it can take you forward. So I would say try to hire those consultants, those freelancers, to give you the right answers right away. And then maybe you need a VA for this role, right? Maybe it's three VAs instead of one full person, that they can do the exact job, because right now that money needs to go towards marketing. And so hiring the right person, the type of person, maybe an executive, you do need the greatest executive, and maybe that comes off as a referral. That's really going to take over your whole operations, let's say. So making sure that you hire the right type of person, in terms of, do I need a VA for this, or do I need a consultant for this, or do I need a full-time person or a part-time person for this role? That's really gonna give you the output that you're looking for to drive the company growth.
So if you're starting out and I think this is a mistake that some people make. They hire that full-time person as a VA thinking that they are an expert in everything. And like you were just talking about, you might hire three people. One person might have better skills in Facebook advertising, social media, and then just your customer service. And you might give them, 10 hours a week each or whatever it takes. But you're not putting all your money into one person who can't really do anything. They're trained as a VA in simple skills, not in complex skills. So that
Yes.
has helped us. Like we've got a lot of VAs, but not a lot of full-time VAs. There's a lot of part-time people, and we try to target people that know how to do social media, because Kelsey's not that great. Well, he is. He's okay. You should take a look at Kelsey's social media. And then if you give him a failing grade, it's not coming from me. Okay. So other things. Let's talk about reviews. How do you do job performance? Like, how do you measure that?
KPIs. And so depending on the roles, you want to, humans on our own, we're incentivized. We want to grow. We want to develop personally. We want to learn. And so you set KPIs, and there's a lot of templates out there, and there's a lot of ways you can go about it, but always incentivize, always measure them, have them have quarterly goals for themselves and for the company. Say, hey, if you achieve your quarterly goal, you have these types of prices, in terms of, the company can sponsor a course for you to learn, and again, that's helping the company down the road, or gift cards or bonuses, whatever that is. But always incentivize, always have those KPIs, always have those goals set for themselves, for them to reach, and always making sure that they have the right support, the right resources, and the right mentorship within the company to achieve those goals, and giving that little extra gap of challenging them to really make sure that they're being challenged and growing.
Yeah, the incentive doesn't always have to be cash, does it?
No,
Yeah,
you just have to understand the employee, of what they're driven by, and that could be books, that can be personal development, that can be something else. Just understanding your employees.
what about a probation period? Do you put people on probation for the first month, 2 months, 3 months?
When we hire, that's a given right away. It's a 3-month trial period just to see
Mhm.
if, again, the training is going to be a while, so we have to consider that time. So it's like a relationship. We have to know if we fit. We have to know if we're both a great fit, and it's not only everything doesn't fall on the employer. It can be everything doesn't fall on the employee. It can also be the employer, and they're just not a great fit. And the last thing you want to do is have somebody just resent the employer because their skill sets aren't in that role. And it doesn't, maybe it's the wrong industry for them, right? You just have to know that if it's not going to work out, cut it faster. But yeah, I always do a 3-month trial period just to understand if we're a great fit.
So let's just take a wage. Let's take $15 an hour. Okay, so you've got a wage of $15 an hour that you're paying out. You've got the probation period going. After they graduate from that probation period, how much would you give them? And I mean, that could be $10 an hour, that could be $50 an hour. I'm just using 15 as an example. So, do you increase their wage after the 3 months?
So that does depend up front. I do give myself a little gap
Mm-hmm.
where I say this is between this and this. Um, if the first 3 to 6 months, if your performance is on track with the role, then yes, that can be. Let's just say I'm going to start you off at 13 after the 3 months or 6 months, depending on your performance, and if this is a great fit and we're moving forward, then I'll bump you up to 15. And after that, it would be just 10 or whatever that is. But yeah, you want to keep the room, and then also structuring it for maybe it's not the dollar amount, maybe it's a bonus at the end of the year, or maybe is based on KPI performances that they get a bonus.
How important is creating a job description, a detailed job description?
It is really, really important, and more important on, again, the core values and where this company is going, and really selling them on the mission to really see if they're here for the company or if they're just here for that paycheck, right? That's really different. And there's nothing wrong with just having someone come in and um, just wanting the paycheck and leaving at a certain time and being done with the job. Usually, who I work with, startups, we need someone that's in it for the mission and in it to really grow this brand, and in it for, hey, it's going to be okay on some days that I can help a teammate outside of my role description because I'm a team. I want to be a team player. So that's important for us, and that's the company culture. And I am very upfront in the interview, and I say this is a startup, and sometimes there's going to be different roles that you play in, and we want someone that wants to grow and learn outside of their role, um, other than somebody that just wants to be in this very structured box cubicle type of job. So I am very open and transparent on the company, and then I want them to be as well. And I make that environment and I build that trust within 30 minutes for them to say, yeah, I'm just looking for a 9 to 5 job. And sort of great. Or I know if someone says, I want to grow with the company and I eventually want to become an executive for this company. That's the type of person I'm looking for.
Perfect. Now, I think this is important. I'd like to get your take on it. Managing expectations. So I've seen a lot of issues that come up with employee relationships because managing expectations doesn't happen like right from the get go. How do you manage expectations?
That it's a really challenging scenario, managing expectations, not only in the workforce, right? Like in just friendships, relationships. And
Yeah,
again, to going back to the human who we are. So the way we manage expectations is, again, having a weekly or monthly sit down with the team, but one on one. So I used to take walks with employees out. around the warehouse and just like, hey, is there something going on? And you just know their energy, you just know the way they carry themselves. Maybe they're kind of down. Maybe it's not even about work. Maybe it's outside of work and something's going on. So I have a really close relationship with employees where I say, hey, talk to me. What's going on? It's just me and you. Is there something that we didn't perform on? Because they can be testing you as well. And employees have that entitlement to set expectations for the employer. But it's just an open dialogue. It's an open communication. It's building that trust. It's building that environment to say, hey, if there's anything I'm not happy with right now, let's talk, and I'll let you know my point, and I'll let you know if I can meet your expectations, or if that's something that right now the company can do.
Very good. So, just if you haven't heard, the giveaway today is going to be a session, a consultation with Brenda, and a brand audit, which is going to be incredible. If you're interested in that, hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, and you'll be able to have an extra ballot. Now, Kels, I haven't been able to look at the comment section, but lots of questions.
Yeah, we have about 5 or 6 questions
Okay.
right now.
Let's go for it.
Okay. All right. And if you haven't already, if you have a question about hiring, branding, systems and processes, throw them over in the comment section and we'll get to them. But let's see, our first one from Amazon Lambo Guru. I've built a team and it's growing well, but some of our team isn't keeping up. It's so easy to get wrapped up in training these snails and neglecting the champions. How do you avoid the situation?
Yes, we want to focus on the champs, on the A players, right? Because they're gonna take the company forward, but you cannot neglect these quote unquote snails. The way you do this, again, if you don't have a way to duplicate yourself in the way of building these tutorial videos, I would have like 50 little 5-minute tutorial videos on how to do things. And the way you set expectations when you hire quote unquote these snails, you say, if you have a question, this is the list of people you ask that question. Google's in there, YouTube's in there, Sonia, our manager's in there. You if you have a question, you ask all these people before you get to me. So you need to build those gatekeepers in front of you, so you don't feel like you have to continually being there for people that are going to waste your time at that moment. And again, you're training them on how to search for answers on their own. So build that communication waterfall, where it's like, if you have a question, go to these 10 people before you come to me, and there is a Google folder. And if that question hasn't been answered, then we're going to create a tutorial for that. And we're going to create processes for that. So if that question is answered again, is not going to come from me.
You touched on this earlier in the podcast where you said, there's different things that incentivize people. So the people that are not performing that well, maybe they just have the wrong motivation too. If you could figure out what that is, that could definitely help out. One other thing that we've done is we have a 5 strengths of the week, 5 weaknesses of the week, and then training, like any training that you took, and how could it be implemented into the company. And that way we just kind of get a feel of what people are thinking. We've got a finger on the pulse to see if people are happy or not. But that's something that you can do. But some people you just can't motivate. Maybe you don't have the right people. And like you were saying, Brenda, hire smart and fire fast. Just fire fast. Sorry, Simon. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's my thought. Anyway.
Our next question is from Dr. Cause. Brenda, I am your #1 fan. Big props to you and your story. You are an inspiration. What are your recent top of funnel trends you are seeing these days? Are there any actionable items coming into Q4? Love your work.
I don't have any ones at the top of my head. And again, I work in strategy with a lot of startups right now. So I don't have any of these. If I could use an actionable item for Q4, it would be to focus on content. Just focus on content. Um, the content is getting shorter and shorter and shorter, so you can get people within 1 second, 2 seconds, really delivering that message through video content, user generated content. That's going to be my biggest one for Q4.
So building out your influencer base. Is that
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. And it doesn't have to be the Kardashians. It could be nano influencers.
nano influencers, because that's the closest to organic.
Right. Kardashians would be your second move, right?
All right. From Jessica Rabbit, do you prefer to hire local or USA people to overseas people for certain or different task jobs? How do you coordinate your team meeting times with different time zones represented?
Both. Again, does depend on the role. I hire a lot of VAs in the Philippines. They're amazing all over. And I prefer locally if I need them to be in person. And depending on the role, if it's a high end role that I need them to be in person, it's going to be in the US. So the way I coordinate time differences is I have my time zone, and then I have the overseas time zone, and then we just mesh them. There's so many apps out there that allow you to do this, and you set it right from the beginning. You go through that headache of 10 minutes of like, all right, what's our time zone and where can we set these meetings, and just have an ongoing calendar invite. And they're very flexible, they're very motivated to work, and they're very loyal, and so it is never has been a problem. It's just a matter of getting that on the calendar right away.
Yeah, and there's an app, very simple app that you can use to try to coordinate what the best time is, especially like if you got people in Australia, people on the West Coast. I mean, it could be a nightmare, but you could use an app called Doodle, and Doodle will coordinate. It'll send out an email to everybody, and they can just click off their times and then all of a sudden it syncs it up. What'll be the best time for everybody? But I mean, that's if you're everywhere. I know in the Philippines for us, we're 12. It's 12 hours, so it's pretty easy. You know, we either coordinate going to bed or waking up in the morning to coordinate. Overseas in India, so I have my senior project manager over there, and also our operations manager for PR Reach is over there, and they work. When we hired, they worked Eastern Standard Time, so they do go to bed early. No, they don't. They always. These people are workers. Like I'm talking about Mana and Vandana. If you're listening, they work their butts off. Like I tell them to go to bed, and they'll just keep going to finish the task, but they're awesome. So anyways, but they knew coming on board it was Eastern Standard Time, and they're committed to it. So they do go to bed a little bit late, but at the end of the day they get to sleep in early, and or sleep in later. That's how we coordinate when it's very difficult time zones.
Thought this was interesting from Simon. I had a sign on my door, 1440. This is the number of minutes in a day. All staff knew that each minute is precious, so I better be the right person to ask. Let me see. Okay, our next question is from Daniel. How do you set up and manage your employees' expectations? Do you offer a career plan, performance bonuses, or anything other to keep them motivated for the long run?
I guess, yeah, we did touch on employees' expectation, and it's all the above. And it's right from when you hire them on the job description to their performance, and watching the numbers and understanding how they're working, and just getting a feel and a check-in for like, hey, are they enjoying this role? Because if they enjoy it, they're going to be better at it. And am I giving them all the resources that they can to perform the best at their job? And if I am, and they're still not happy, and their expectations just not there, then you have that conversation with them.
Yeah, you said something a little earlier on when you were setting up your SOP. You would put if you need help, talk to I think it was Sophia, Google, this page, that page, and that's important too, because if you make it an environment where people are always coming to you and saying, "Hey, we have a problem. What do you think?" That's a problem. You want to make it a more of a performance based culture where, okay, look, it might not be the right answer. I might be able to help you, but the first thing you should do is solve this bloody thing yourself and then come to me with a solution. And if it's the wrong solution, or if I could add anything, I'd be happy to do it. But let's figure this out. And
Yes.
that's something I like to add about SOPs, by the way. When we're creating an SOP, it's fairly long, so we do these steps, and it's just, instead of 5 steps, we talk about dragging your mouse over here, click this button with a screenshot, but it might be 25 steps, so the person can say, "I messed up on step 19," and for the most part, it's either a revision, is that an update to a system, that Amazon's changed something, or the SOP was written wrong. So we can go and say, okay, let's correct that. But if it is an issue, the person comes back to us and says, look, this is the problem I had. This is what I think we could do to solve the issue. What a difference it makes in culture and performance. You don't have to get
Yeah.
involved in every minor little thing.
And the goal here is to make your team self-sufficient and to think for themselves. So I used to, if they come for me with a question, I used to guide them with questions myself. And I used to say, how would you solve it? I want to know how you would solve it. And they would come out with a solution just because you're letting them know it's okay to think for themselves and they're not afraid. So make your employees self-sufficient.
You know what? We should touch on this. There's a cultural thing too. I find in the Philippines that a lot of the times, when you first hire somebody in the Philippines, they don't necessarily want to do that. They're afraid to do that. And by giving them that freedom, basically, to make those choices, and they're not going to get screamed and yelled at, which is awful, but just that they're free to make the choice. And if they're wrong, it's not a big deal. In this company, it's okay to make a mistake. We're going to go back there and we'll make sure that this thing gets resolved. But that person takes the lead on it.
Yes.
Okay, and our last question for today from Simon. COVID Chaos has created a huge pool of freelance experts, not VAs. Do you advocate using freelancers over employing?
Again, we touched a little bit on this, on understanding if maybe a consultant or freelancer would be better for this job, depending on what growth you're in your company. And I would go towards that at the beginning if you can, instead of hiring someone full time. Maybe you don't have enough work for them, or you can't afford them at this time. So yes, I love freelancers, and they're huge pull right now because everyone's working from home. So I
Right.
agree with that.
Okay. So I think that's it. Is there anything else you would like to say at all? How's that? At all. It's an open question for you, Brenda.
You know, it's simple, guys. We're overcomplicating this, and just please hone into your core values and your what you want your company to be and where you want your company to be, and really sell that to whoever you're bringing on. And hire the right people, and be okay with saying, hey, this person didn't work out, but you need the right team to move your company forward, because nobody does it alone, and you need a really strong team. So develop those really core values. And there's so many books out there to learn leadership and management, but at the end of the day, we're all humans, and we all just want to be listened to and understood. And having that structure right at the beginning for your company, setting expectations, is going to take you a long, long way.
Kelsey just grabbed a couple of books from the house the other day. What was it? Gung Ho and Raving Fans. And they're older books, but they're really good. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, they're all.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
About 5 more others
Yeah.
behind me.
Those are, in case the millennials are listening, those are called books. All right.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. Brenda, have you seen The Wheel of Kelsey?
I have.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right, here it is, the Wheel of Kelsey.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
All right, thank you everyone who has entered today's Wheel of Kelsey. I'm going to give this a spin. If you are the winner, please message me, k@lunchwithnorm.com, and I'll connect you with the consultation with Brenda. So here we go.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Wheel of Kelsey. And the winner is Brian.
Oh, nice.
All right. So congratulations, Brian. Brian, I have your information. So yeah, I'll connect you with Brenda. Be nice and easy. And that's it.
Okay. I noticed an ad there, Kels. Did you not pay for the premium subscription?
An ad.
Yeah, there was a helium 10.
Oh, was
ad
there?
Yeah.
Maybe they're, yeah. Maybe they've been getting more business now that we've
I don't know.
doing the
Maybe.
Wheel of
Who
Kelsey.
knows? All right. So, Brenda, thank you for coming on. We got to get you back on again. Good luck with
Anytime.
everything that you're doing. And really appreciate that giveaway. Brian, you don't know what you got here. You know, that hour and the brand audit is worth a ton. So anyways, Brenda, thank you.
Thank you. And I'll be back.
Fantastic. We'll see you later. Okay, so I hope you really enjoyed that. On Friday, we're going to be having Chris McCabe back. And look, there's lots of stuff going on Amazon right now, suspensions. He's going to be talking about a couple of new trends that we're starting to see and that he's getting involved with. So anyways, he's going to be here on Friday to talk about all that. So please, stay tuned. That'll be a good one. He knows this stuff. Anyways, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Ahrefs Webmaster Tools. When you listen to our podcast, we talk about a lot about making sure that you have a website. Nobody can find your website. Well, it's not worth much. Anyways, you've got to make sure that you have SEO health. And the easiest way to do that is to find an application. And this one is free. So Ahrefs is here to help. They monitor your SEO health, backlinks, keywords, all for free. And now you can just sit back, relax, listen to the podcast while Ahrefs does it for you. You can sign up, like I said, $0 at ahrefs.com/AWT. That's ahrefs.com/AWT. All right, Boy Wonder.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining today's episode. Daniel, Amazon Guru, aka Simon, Roz, Oleg, everyone. It's been great. Cindy, I noticed we had some new viewers today as well, so that's awesome. Also, if you guys are interested in connecting with Ruby or Brenda Ruby, go to her Instagram. It's Ruby Ecom, and you'll be able to check out her Instagram. It's great. If you're looking for to be a content creator, she has great Instagram too. So definitely check it out. But anyways, yeah, looking forward to the next episode. If you're looking for the full highlights and full episodes of Lunch with Norm, go over to our YouTube channel. It's got everything, over 180 episodes. And also, let me see, our membership area is open on our website, Lunch with Norm. So if you're interested in small group discussions with Norm and I, we just had one yesterday with a great group of people, like Roz and Simon and a bunch of others. Really great chance to ask your questions that you have about Amazon and Ecom. We're also giving away a free SOP that we do every month next week. So definitely sign up if you're interested in learning more about Amazon and Ecom. And yeah, that's it.
Any Netflix recommendations? Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Simon's lost
we'll
it.
get a whole list together for you, Simon. Okay, so join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Guys, thank you for watching. Just love this community. Thank you for your engagement. We couldn't do this without you. And we will see you next time.
Entrepreneur.